Well, hello, Bob Dendry here. Welcome back to Transport Fever 2. So we've had a really good response to the Fresh Friday Transport Fever 2 video that I put out. As a result, I'm going to do a short series and see how people are liking that. So, before we move on to anything else, I just want to redo something that's been annoying me here, and that is this triangle here. So obviously we've got the road coming into the Colne sawmill going this way. However, we probably don't actually need to do that. We can run it across from this side here, save stuffing around with this triangle here. So we're going to quickly fix that up before we do anything else. Alright, and with that ugly bit of road all removed, we've got some freedom to run this as double track all the way through to the station and clean up this triangle a bit more, which we're going to do while paused. I've got a too much curvature error here. So what we might do is slightly realign this track so it runs a little bit straighter. And we're just going to run this through as a scissor crossing, I think. Nice, so that's going to look a lot nicer now. I just realized our scissor junction doesn't quite work because we need to loop in our triangle here. But that is a-okay. We can redo that a little bit. Okay, so that didn't exactly work out how I initially intended it, but it's still going to work well, I think. Okay, so that's a lot nicer in terms of our triangle we've set up. It will allow some higher capacity movements as well down the line, should we want to convert more of this into double track. But that was just a little quick fix to start. What we're all about this episode is working on our public transport system for Huddersfield. So, obviously, Huddersfield is where we've started. That's where we've decided we want to set up our headquarters. And we also will want to run some passenger trains and some internal public transport to help it grow. So we'll work on our passenger line first, and we've got a few different options that we can consider. But at this stage, what I'm thinking, we'll have the line start at Hemsworth, but the line from Hemsworth being more of a branch line, it won't actually be the primary movement. So if we do end up extending through to Sittingbourne, that will be our actual primary movement, and Hemsworth will just be a small branch line. But Hemsworth, importantly as well, accepts food as well. So we can, if we want to boost production from our food processing plant, we can also run some food on that line as well. My thoughts are that we can have probably quite a large, maybe a 4-track station in this block here. And we'll try and run double track through the back of these houses here. We might need to acquire 1 or 2 homes, but it should be fairly good. Running through to single track, parallel this road here mostly, joining up here with our existing goods line, running double track up the mountain towards Colne, where we'll come around the back here and have our station there. Now, I did have a look at possibly building a station on this section here. However, the grades are quite large, so we'd end up with a station with a large raised sort of end, and it actually would be hard to get back down the mountain without bridging and stuff like that. And then from there, what we can do, probably a little tiny bit later, but hopefully we'll get through this episode to do it, we will actually run the line through to Lyme Regis. And Lyme Regis is the correct pronunciation. I looked it up after my last video. And then we'll have a nice sort of passenger spine. So let's get started on building our train station here at Huddersfield. And I'm thinking we probably want a slightly larger, and we can have 4-track as well to allow for some growth. We won't use catenary at this point. And as you can see, we've still got a lot of houses that aren't actually covered. But we don't want to be putting it down here, because that's going to, as you can see, that'll be over $3 million, because we're going to be blowing up a lot of buildings. So if we put it more towards this end, there's still going to be some buildings that need to be removed, but it's not going to be anywhere near as big, and we can run public transport in the town to also get people to the station as well. So we're going to sort of plop it down probably about here. We will be able to have houses rebuilding in this area here, so this isn't completely destroying the area. What we might do as well is build some buildings on the opposite side as well. So we've got our large side entrance as well. We've got underpasses already, so we're all hooked up and good to go. Now we'll run a medium street. Which we can join up through here. We can also get our headquarters in. We'll probably to get it down just next to our station here. Rotate it around actually, so we've got the front facing the right way. Nice. That's a little bit ugly, but it'll work well, and we've got a transfer point at our what's going to be our main station as well, so that's good. Alrighty, so from here we're going to be running. Actually, what we might do, we'll run our track through the middle here. So we've got the. Oops. So what is going on here? Okay, so our goal here is to get rid of as little houses on these two parallel roads as we can. And obviously this is quite a large one, so we probably can't avoid that. But we should be good if we can just bend this back a little bit. That's probably as good as we're going to get. We'll get our parallel. Okay, what we might need to do here. Oh no, perfect. Alright, that's a little bit ugly actually. So we've got our two lines at slightly different heights. What we might quickly do here is pause the game and actually remove the roads. So we're wreaking a little bit more havoc than I was originally intending to. But we've got our nice, neat road. We've got our nice, neat rail line. So from here, what we'll probably do is we'll have our two main lines actually going to these two tracks, what would be a track platform 2 and 3. And then if need be, we can break off further tracks to the left and right of that. Perfect, I think that looks quite good. Alrighty, and we'll do the simpler part, which would be the line through to Hemsworth now. So we'll want an end platform here, probably back down to 160 for this. And one track is going to be fine, I think. If need be, we can add on a second track to deliver goods if we need to, but that's probably fine for the moment, just with the one track. And we'll probably want one passing pretty much through the middle of this forest. Perfect. And then one bad here also just after the machine factory. Nice, so we'll get this all signaled up. Alrighty. So from here we want to roughly follow this road, obviously not following these sort of somewhat silly deviations. We'll just cut straight through the forest. Probably like that. Nice, that's quite good. Now, a challenge we are going to have is joining up to this line here. Because we are quite high up, we're not really going to have an option except to run a bit of a viaduct over the road and down to ground level over there. So it's a little bit more expensive, but this is a passenger line as well. That's not too bad, actually. It looks alright. And we'll just quickly go back and link these up as well. Yeah, so I like that. It's a nice sort of parallel run with the rail line and the roadway. And then once we get up to where we're going to have this shared track, it does deviate a bit and then bridge our roadway. So I think that's quite nice. So we're going to have to switch this up to become double track for this short section here. I think that shouldn't be too much of an issue. And we'll have our station running sort of this way. What I might see if I can do is run a road sort of diagonally across here. Perfect. So obviously in early sort of cities and towns, a lot of the roadway network was determined by the rail network. So I think it's not necessarily unusual for it to be built in this sort of fashion. We're going to switch back to a 2-track, and we will run this as a 240 meter platform length as well. Let's see if we can just rotate that a smidge. Perfect. Excellent, so that should run quite well. Now we just need to work out where we want to actually break off and deviate from this main line. We probably want to do it sort of up in this area here, I would say. But it might be better for us to build down rather than building up. And a short bridge section, I think, is probably appropriate as well. That'll save us doing too much with the with this road here, which is obviously going to be a main sort of connector road with the sawmill, though we're not using it. And yeah, that looks good. I think we're ready to start the lineup now. We'll leave Lime Regis for the moment, and we'll just get some traffic running. What we'll do as well... Let's chuck our favourite thing in the world here, just a little triangle, so we can use the same depot again. Easy. We will start at Hemsworth. Perfect. We'll just run one train on this for the moment, I think. We'll just test what sort of numbers we get running through it. So we've got these 6-wheelers that can run up to 100 k's an hour. We probably will go with the most powerful and most expensive loco we've got at this point. Probably a 98 capacity is probably good for the moment. We do have plenty of length to extend it should we want to. I don't think we... Yeah, I think that should be good. Now let's get it on line 8 and see how it goes. Okay, and we've got our train arriving for the first time at our Colne station. There's only a handful of passengers jumping on at this point. 3. That's alright. Let's have a look at Huddersfield. Got 1. 1 passenger waiting at Huddersfield and 7 at Hemsworth. So people want to go to the big city. Okay, so Huddersfield, we've got 10 passengers going to Hemsworth. So yeah, not bad for a start. How's Hemsworth looking now? 17 passengers. Okay, I'm willing to let it sit there and work for a little bit. While that is hopefully building up in patronage, we will see if we can get a public transport system running within Huddersfield now. So obviously we need to focus here on our bus station we've got set up here, which has direct access to the train line. And if we look at our residential, so we've got residential, so all the way up here through to down here as well. And our current reach is pretty decent, but we probably do want to have some access right at the edge, as well as just some lines down these roads, which will help hopefully develop the town a little bit quicker as well. We'll try just a couple of buses on the line to start with, maybe 2, and see how they perform. Got a nice little bus here with a capacity of 8. So in fact we'll probably we'll go 3 in fact, and get those onto our Huddersfield loop. Ooh, and they're double deckers, are they? So you can sit on the top as well. That's pretty cool. Meanwhile, while we've been building up that little bus route in Huddersfield, our train's arriving at Hemsworth now. We've got 28 passengers awaiting. So that's a pretty decent number. Obviously we're in the red by quite a bit. That's to be expected. Passengers aren't the most lucrative cargo in this game. As you can see, we've run about 250,000 from that trip, and we've now got 29 aboard. So we'll be keen to see how much we make back at Huddersfield when that train arrives. And at Huddersfield itself, we've got just 3 waiting to go up to Colne. Alrighty, now when we're looking at extending our line from Colne through to Lyme Regis, as you can see, I've had a bit of a go building a station, but it didn't actually work very well. Topography is not great, so we may need to look at it a little bit differently. So what I'm thinking we're going to do, we'll run the line first and see how we can sort of defeat these gradients, or how we can work with them the best, and then we'll place our station based on the results of that. So this is quite a steep gradient. Obviously the rail doesn't appear to be able to go as steep as the road can, so we're going to need to work a more sort of circular route if we want to avoid using these bridge pieces, which we don't want to do for this section. It's not really going to work. So our best way is to build higher up and essentially cut through this forest, I think, which is allowing us to build fairly easily. We've still got a bit of landscaping required, but a lot better than the bridges it was wanting us to build before. So if we, skirt this forest a little bit more, then we can pretty much get straight in here. Okay, so let's build it here. We will remove this length of road, and we can, let's remove the buildings. We're a bit higher here than we were when we were using this, so hopefully that'll be much easier. Right, straight in. Tunnel. Not gonna. Oh, can we make that work? Oh, gosh. Oh, that's not cricket. Yes. Nice, we did it. Let's just smooth this out a bit more now. Okay, it's not the prettiest thing in the world, it's not the prettiest bit of track, but it works. We have a connection to Lyme Regis now. And let's see how the line's going. So where is our train, first of all? It's not it. Okay, here it is. Crossing back onto the single track stretch, and it's pulling back the profit part quite a bit, in fact. At Huddersfield, we've got a decent amount of passengers waiting. At Hemsworth, we've got a decent amount of passengers waiting as well, so it's going quite well, in fact. And we'll probably need to get try and get 2 passing loops in. Just realised we haven't actually connected up our lines yet anyway. Oh, look at that. That is lovely. So we're pulling back finances on our passenger line quite quickly. And as we're about to push it out to a further station, it's probably going to be a good idea for us to add another train on here as well. Okay, perfect. So we've got our new station at Lyme Regis added into our line, and we will clone our existing train to run on the line. Alright, so we do have an opportunity here to connect up Hemsworth with our food supply network, so we may actually do that. Probably run a separate track. And run a cargo platform on the other side. So left here with a sort of a mixed use station. So we've got our passenger platform on one side and we have a freight platform on the other, which I think is pretty cool. So what we're going to need to do here is to bridge these two lines. We'll want to do after our depot. And probably try and join up where our passing loop is as well. So we've got a nice little join there. We'll want another platform as well. Okay, and how are we going for food? We've got a bit, but we probably could feed in another grain train. So we've got a farm over here. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. So we'll need a further platform here. That's fine, we can do that. So we'll have a further platform on this side. And it can join up with our passenger line and split off here. Okay, let's make it happen. Okay, got a nice quick and nasty connection set up to our food processing plant. And from here we can get a train off to our farm and then onto the food processing plant. So once again we'll use our Colne train depot. And for vehicles we'll probably go with this tank engine, I think. It's going to be, it's quite a short line. So I don't think we need the pulling power that we have on our other lines. I might cap it at about 72 at the moment. We can always add more if we need to. And let's get it running. Alrighty, let's get our second grain line set up. And once again, I think we'll go with this. Yeah, we'll go with the tank engine again on this one, and we will need boxcars. I think as the final goal to work on for this video, we're going to try and get our machinery that we're outputting at the Huddersfield Machine Factory over to Stratford upon Avon. So we've got a line crossing over this ridge here that we can possibly diverge and run over to Stratford-upon-Avon. We've also got a tool factory here, which we could also use our planks to supply, which will also allow us to further grow Stratford-upon-Avon, and we can potentially look at running a passenger service there as well. So let's get started. We've got a perfect place to slot in our station here. There was a nice and easy connection there. We'll also get a signal, just a two-way signal here. At this point, we're only going to be running the one train down that line, so we don't need any further protection. And what sort of output are we getting from this machine factory? A decent amount, 60-ish, and we've got lots of stored resources as well. So we can definitely get in. Now, where this line is going to be a little bit different, and we'll need to keep in mind, is that it's going to be running fully laden up this grade. So we will need to make sure we have the most powerful trains we can run to make sure we're not holding up our quicker and empty trains. Alright, so the A35 is still the most powerful engine we can be running at this point. We're going to run it with the 64 capacity, so a little bit shorter. It's still got a good rating on horsepower, so it means it'll be able to still go reasonably fast on high slopes, so that's good for us. Let's buy it and let's get it assigned to line 11, and we'll see how we go there. Alright, so our first profit from our machine line going up to Stratford-upon-Avon. That wasn't actually a full load. As you can see, we've still got 24 worth of cargo that hasn't been loaded. So we might need to extend our wait time a little bit, maybe up to 5 minutes. But it looks like it's going to be quite successful. So we've done a fair bit this episode. So we've built up our line from Huddersfield, from Hemsworth through Huddersfield to Colne, and then on to Lyme Regis. We've added extra food capacity by bringing in from our farm across to the Huddersfield food processing plant, and we also have some food running to Hemsworth as well. And we've got machines running from our Huddersfield machine factory to Stratford-upon-Avon. So fair bit of work. We've definitely set the groundwork up for quite a successful transport company. So Dendry Transportation Systems is seemingly taking off, which is good to see. And Huddersfield, we have our shack of a HQ laid down. We have our main train station with some room for expansion. And the town looks to be growing quite a fair bit. We still need to provide fuel, so that may be a plan for next episode. We can run through to Sittingbourne and potentially try and get through the this mountain range to the oil refinery and feed through there. So that'll give us some more passenger traffic from a larger town, as well as allowing us to feed fuel into Huddersfield. But that will be it for this episode. So I hope you've enjoyed this one. I plan to play through at least another few episodes of this. We might try and play through perhaps to the end of this run, maybe doing about 10 years per episode. But please let me know if you've enjoyed it. Leave a comment and let me know, because the feedback on this will help me a lot. I'm not fantastic at this game, but it's quite fun. But look, until next time, hope you've enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.